And are we degenerate in a profoundly threatening manner? I think the answer to that may well be yes. And that in and of itself does not provide indication of Western derangement. But.
Poor Jordan Peterson having a very public unraveling. In a recent video, he actually tried his hand at geopolitical analysis and it didn't go so well. Now, here he is floating a theory, a big brain idea that Russia actually invaded Ukraine because of Wokism here in the United States. And he uses Ketanji Brown Jackson as an example to make his point. Let's get to the next video.
And are we degenerate in a profoundly threatening manner? I think the answer to that may well be yes. The idea that we are ensconced in a culture war has become a rhetorical commonplace. How serious is that war? Is it serious enough to increase the probability that Russia, say, will be motivated to invade and potentially incapacitate Ukraine merely to keep the pathological West out of that country, which is a key part of the historically Russian sphere of influence?
What?
Yeah, no, I love this so much, Anna, because they think he's an intellectual. All right, there's a couple of different things here. The Ukraine point is hilarious. I'm gonna get to that in a second. But I realized as I watched that a couple of times what he's doing and why they think he's an intellectual, because he uses words like ensconced. So they don't know what it means.
Word.
His followers don't know what it means, so they think, wow, this guy's so smart. And he will casually throw in things like in and of itself. Like it's not.
Is that a fancy word?
No, but it sounds like he's having, like he's professorial, right? Like, and he said, and then, are we deranged in a profoundly threatening manner? Like,
what is that?
There's like theoretically big words in there. Like
I think
profound.
you're deranged. Yes, I do think you are deranged.
But are we deranged in a profoundly threatening manner?
More of an amusing manner.
What does that mean? What is so? And then he's talked about how we have it has become, or ensconced something or other has become rhetorical commonplace. Wait, that doesn't even make any sense. That's not proper grammar.
No, Cenk, he knows what he's talking about. You don't.
No, it's word salad. To be fair to the right wing, establishment Democrats love word salad too. Pete Buttigieg is like the Jordan Peterson of the Democratic Party. He'll do word salad with fancy SAT words, and establishment donors are like, oh my God, I love this guy, right? And so Jordan Peterson here. Now to the main point on Ukraine. Russia invaded Ukraine because they were worried about how America is too woke. No, come on.
No,
can anyone be that unintelligent to believe that that's true? That Putin was so worried about our moral fiber in America and that it may spread to Ukraine, which might then spread to Russia. And so he thought, I'm going to risk my whole legacy, my military, our entire economy, maybe even getting killed myself when enough people are, because I'm worried about Ketanji Brown Jackson and trans people and woke. Are you insane?
Yes,
you think Putin thought that?
He's insane. Listen, to be fair, Putin is very concerned about the use of pronouns. And so, I mean, who wouldn't go to war over that, am I right? No, I mean, like, this is brainworms. Like, this is what happens when your entire grift and your entire financial career relies on culture war narratives and fear mongering about literally the least powerful people in society, right? His entire career was catapulted over using proper pronouns for people in the transgender community. That's it. And like, even though that has been so lucrative for people like Jordan Peterson, he's gone on nationwide tours over that issue, right? Making a ton of money. He still puts himself in the position of a poor, oppressed individual, right? Putting himself in the position of someone who's been canceled. Listen, I want to make one insanely important point here for some of the young men who might be watching. Some of the young men who turn to people like Jordan Peterson for guidance, okay? Please don't. I understand how a lot of young people in this country, particularly young men, are feeling, okay? Our society has been dismantled in so many ways. Our institutions have been dismantled. It feels like there's no future, there's no hope. But if we fight together, we can fight for a better country, a better world. I know we can get there. Turning to someone who supports the very dismantling of the system that has caused so much pain and suffering ain't the answer. You wanna take his advice and clean your room, clean your room. I make my bed every day, it makes me feel better, right? That's not gonna solve your problems. This guy is a lunatic. He is crazy. And I promise you, whatever problems you're experiencing in life is not caused by the scapegoats that they're pointing to. It's caused by the people at the very top who have robbed us, who have robbed our institutions, who have destroyed this country for their own personal financial gain, okay? Transgender people, women, whatever you've been directed to hate, they're not the ones ruining your life, bro. They're just not. The ones ruining your life are the ones who promote clowns like Jordan Peterson and the ones who support the policies that, again, have robbed you, have taken money out of your taxes and redistributed that wealth to the very top. That's why you're feeling frustrated.
Yeah, you didn't lose economic dignity because of trans folks. No, that is meant to distract you from the robbery. And so, but the thing I'm most amused with Jordan Peterson, I don't care that he's crazy. With Trump, I cared because the guy was the leader of America and the free world and all that, and had potential for massive damage and did cause massive damage. Jordan Peterson can be crazy all he wants. I'm just mainly amused at his lack of intelligence and how the right wing thinks that he's the paragon of intellectualism. Like when he makes totally nonsensical points that anyone can pick apart with incredible ease.
Now, and one final thing. I mean, look, we can make fun of that video and we have. But understand, he's providing cover for Russia's invasion into Ukraine.
Oh, of course,
right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, so when he went to Russia to get treatment for his benzo addiction, was he convinced that like Vladimir Putin can do no wrong? I don't know, what happened there? Like, how do you look at what's happening in Ukraine with Russia's invasion and think like, no, let me provide an excuse for why Putin did it and provide cover for why Putin did it. It's because of America, and not because of America's foreign policy, not because of America's involvement with NATO. No. I'm not gonna do any serious analysis here. I'm gonna always tie it back to the manufactured culture wars that I engage in. That's Jordan Peterson for you, big brains.
Yeah, and look, Putin engages in cultural wars in his own domestic context. Why? Because he cares about the moral degeneration of Western values? Come on, guys. No, it's because it's an easy way to rile up the right wing in his own country and have them rally behind him unquestioningly. And then ironically, Jordan Peterson then comes in and pretends the real issue is cultural wars and that Putin has a big heart and he's really worried about the moral decay of all of us. And that's why him taking over Ukraine in a bloody war and killing thousands of Ukrainians is the right and moral thing to do. Do you see how sick that is?
So we're not done because I had mentioned soon to be Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. And Jordan Peterson seems to be in a tizzy over the fact that she's a black woman who is confirmed. So let's take a look at what he had to say about her, and then we'll try to figure out how this ties into Russia's invasion.
It remains true that sex and race trumped qualification, and that a moral case was made for that decision. And that in and of itself does not provide indication of Western derangement. But when the self-same candidate was asked directly in an interview during the confirmation process, the very straightforward question, what is a woman? Which, granted, was a gotcha question, which only goes to show the severity of our current level of derangement, and so is no excuse for failure to answer. She said, I'm not a biologist. That is not a good answer.
That That is not a good answer, but. Like, what is this?
I mean, look at the whole setting, man. He looks like a caricature of a Bond villain.
Listen, she didn't want to answer the transphobic question. You guys know that, okay? We all know what all you right-wingers are up to, right? It's a potential Supreme Court justice, a nominee who's sitting through a confirmation hearing, and you have these clown-ass senators, Republican senators, but like asking, oh, what is a woman? We all know why they ask that question. Okay, it is a waste of time. He knows it's a waste of time, but he loves it. They love it so much because how are they gonna continue their grift if they don't have more content to latch onto? Oh, precious content about transphobia. I love it, but you're such a creep, man. Dude's a creep. Like, I would die if this was my dad. I would banish myself from public life. I'd be like, I can't do it, I'm gone, bye. I would strap him in a chair in a basement and I wouldn't let him leave until he promises me that he'd stop embarrassing our family. What are you doing, bro? And let me just talk about Ketanji Brown Jackson and the idea that the only reason why she was nominated is because she's a black woman and that was it. Contrary to what people like Jordan Peterson believe, Ketanji Brown Jackson is very much qualified for the job. She proved that in her handling of the confirmation hearing. She proved that in her lengthy career as a judge. I'm not even gonna entertain it. To just simply say, no, her qualifications didn't even exist, and the only reason why she got nominated by Biden is because she's a black woman is ridiculous. Biden nominating a black woman as a Supreme Court justice was important because that was a historic nomination in a Supreme Court that has traditionally been overwhelmingly white and male, okay? So putting someone in there who's a woman of color, who's also incredibly qualified for the job is an important thing to do, the right thing to do, and it's one of the few good things that Biden has done in his administration. So sit down. You want to talk about qualifications, homeboy? You want to talk about qualifications? You just said that Russia invaded Ukraine over wokeism in the United States. Sit down. Just sit down.
Okay, those are good.
Here's my book. One rule: sit down.
Okay.
Easy.
Okay, I have more fun comments to make. First of all, don't trust anyone who ever does this. Or this while talking, okay? What is this? I think what he's doing is what right-wingers think smart people look like. That they do things like this and this while talking. What is this? What is this? Okay.
Or the eyebrow thing that he does.
And then this look, and this look. Let me tell you something, okay? So I halfway expected one of these clips to say, look, all I wanted was sharks with laser beams on their freaking heads. I couldn't get that. And Anna, if you did strap him into the basement, the last things you would hear is, but, are you coming back?
Fine, no. Finally, to wrap this all up, okay? So he goes on this rant about Ketanji Brown Jackson. What does that have to do with Russia's invasion into Ukraine again? Here's how he ties it all together.
Oh, can't wait.
And are not the Russians and the Hungarians and the Poles and the Indians to a lesser degree watching and thinking, those people have gone out of their minds. And we have to say it again, clearly, the culture war in the West is real and culture is losing. And Russia is part of the West. And the culture war is now truly part of why we have a war. And it's a real war. So the Russians believe that they have a moral duty and that they have the highest moral duty to oppose the degenerate ideas, philosophy, theology of the West. And there's something about that that is not wrong.
Listen, to my young homies out there who are frustrated, you're not getting laid, he's not gonna get you laid. I promise you, I'm a woman, I know. Please run away as quickly as you can from this lunatic. He's not gonna help you out. Please, I'm begging you. I'm just looking out for you. He's not the right one.
But but a moral duty. That's why Putin invaded Ukraine, because of the moral duty we created. I mean, come on, you would have to be extraordinarily naive to believe that. He's a guy who looks like the most deranged guy we've ever met talking about derangement syndrome. I mean, it's irony wrapped in irony. It's an irony burrito.
We gotta stop. That's it. That's the only thing that comes to mind when I look at him. We just gotta stop. You gotta sit down. And I'm gonna leave you with one final video. If you're ever tempted to believe that Jordan Peterson is well equipped to give you life advice, just remember what we're about to show you.
They're worse than animals, because animals, they just kill to eat, you know? Human beings, they have a twist in them that makes them far worse than animals when they really get going. Well, I think you really want to know what I think? I think it's revenge against God for the crime of being. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what it is at the bottom of the hell of things. A close reading of 20th century history indicates, as nothing else can, the horrors that accompany loss of faith in the idea of the individual. Well, we're going to destroy the planet. We have to do this. We have to demoralize the youth to be ethical. It's like, yeah, really, that's your theory? You're going to demoralize young people to be ethical? That's your theory? It's like, you should go home and think about that for like a year. And I'm passionate about this, because you have no idea how many people that's killing.